In the world of the avid car collector, there is a phrase often whispered but rarely realized. Two words that instantly raise blood pressure, that instantly pique interest. Two words used in conjunction that bring to mind the possibility of finding the holy grail of lost cars. The images you see before you define the meaning of barn find. This is a story recounting the realization of such a find. Stored away for nearly 4 decades, one of the rarest of all Maseratis ever built, a Vignale Spyder, has now been exhumed from its dark hiding place. One of only 242 Spyders ever built, the car had been in the hands of a single owner since the early 80s. As you can see, the car had been buried all those years under a collection of miscellaneous parts, and if it weren't for a casual conversation between two car guys, the car may have remained forgotten. The owner, a very knowledgeable Italian mechanic, and an owner of a renowned restoration facility, were talking about their mutual interest, namely Italian sports cars. In passing, the mechanic mentioned he owned a Vignale Spyder. Though this conversation took place in 1992, that small tidbit of information did not go unforgotten by the owner of the restoration facility. 2 decades later, in 2013, the two men engaged in another conversation about the Spyder. The question was asked if the car could be viewed, along with the possibility of purchasing the Maserati with the intent of restoring the car. The answer was yes, and a deal was struck. It took another year for the viewing to be arranged. A group of men gathered at a storage yard just outside of Denver, Colorado. Before them sat 3 tractor trailers. With the passing of time, the car's owner could not remember which of the 3 trailers contained the Spyder. He had also lost the keys to the padlocks. After cutting off all 3 padlocks, the daunting task of removing parts began. Piece by piece, body panels, mechanical components, wheels and tires were dug out and placed on the ground outside the 3 trailers. Progress was slow. Hours passed. Daylight waned. Still no Vignale Spyder. They would start the search again the following day. 3 weekends passed as they searched for the elusive Maserati. Then a shout from the middle trailer. "I've found the engine!" The excitement was short-lived. The engine number did not match. But finding a period-correct Maserati engine jogged a memory and narrowed the search. All effort would now be concentrated on the middle trailer. The search increased in intensity. Like an archaeological dig, parts that could only be from the long dormant Spyder were uncovered. Dusty chrome trim pieces were found and wiped clean as the men searched for the Vignale body numbers they knew would be inscribed on the backsides of the individual pieces. A second disassembled engine was found. The stampings on the block matched. They had found the original engine for the car. This important find further hastened the search for the elusive Maserati. Deep into the trailer, a windshield frame came into view. With the careful removal of a pair of doors and a hood, the unmistakable nose of what could only be a Vignale Spyder was uncovered. They had found her. The car had been completely disassembled at some point in the past. Luckily, the suspension was still intact and the wheels and tires were still mounted. The tires were aired up and the car rolled out into the sunshine. The Spyder was examined closely by the new owner and found to be in remarkable condition. The body was pristine and accident-free. The floors and chassis showed no signs of worrisome corrosion. It was a car that begged for complete restoration. That potential was immediately recognized. The car was loaded onto a trailer, along with all its parts, for the short journey to Denver. Once there, it languished for another 6 years in the back of a warehouse as other restorations took precedent. It wasn't until 2020 that the slow process of restoring the lost Vignale Spyder began. From the very beginning, it was determined that the car was befitting of a Pebble Beach level of restoration. To that end, and as is easily seen in the finished product, every facet of the restoration process was placed in the hands of experts in their particular field of knowledge. Working together in a cohesive manner, these immensely talented craftsmen slowly brought the Vignale Spyder back to its original splendor. The engine and gearbox were meticulously rebuilt by a master mechanic with 50 years of experience on Italian cars. A renowned upholsterer from Southern California, who had won multiple awards at Pebble Beach, worked his magic on the interior. Over $60,000 was spent on chrome work. A similar amount of money resulted in a flawless paint job. The restoration took over 5 years to complete at a staggering cost of over $1.2 million. The end result is a Maserati Vignale Spyder that is second to none in its perfection and would be welcomed at any major concours event. Collector cars are sought after for their rarity, their provenance, their ownership trail, and their condition. Then there is that mystical car that is talked about over drinks or at car shows. The ever-elusive barn find. This 1961 Maserati Vignale Spyder ticks all of those boxes. Collector cars are sought after for their rarity, their provenance, their ownership trail, and their condition. Then there is that mystical car that is talked about over drinks or at car shows. The ever-elusive barn find. This 1961 Maserati Vignale Spyder ticks all of those boxes.